Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nicole. Welcome to this video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nicole. Welcome to this video. Today I would like to talk about birth restriction in Africa. Yes, I am born and raised in Africa, and I just realized that many people cannot actually afford to have children, but they're still having children. And when you're trying to tell them, the answer is always different from one person to the other, just because the realities are different. However, I think and I know that if every single African country can help regulate the birth or reproduction of African people, this will help a lot. And the reason I'm making this video. So we need to regulate the reproduction, or the production of African people, especially from communities and societies that don't have enough resources, enough ability, enough means to procreate or to reproduce themselves. If you look at many African families, you see those ones, it's usually or often those ones who do not have, for instance, enough money, that tends to have many children. You will see a couple, a mother already, for instance, struggling to raise 2, 3, 4, 5 children, but will be adding more to the point where she will reach 7, 9, 10, or even more children than she already has. My point is, if you're already struggling with the 2 kids you have, with the 3 you have, with the pregnancy you have, with the 1 you have, what makes you think that you should be adding more? If there is no enough money to feed the kids, there is no roof over the head of the kids that you already have, there's no enough resources to help those that you already have, what makes you think that you should be adding any more children? No, you shouldn't, especially if you cannot afford the kids physically, financially, emotionally, mentally. Any person that is not fit to carrying a pregnancy out, or birthing a person, a child, or bringing into this world new African baby should not be having baby at all. This is what I'm trying to say. So this message is particularly addressing to every single African country, African cities, provinces, states, to every single African parliament. My message to that is that we should introduce and implement a law that is restricting or bringing restriction when it comes to giving birth, reproduction, or reproducing babies in Africa. Yeah, this is how it goes. So every single household should be having maximum 3 children. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be having kids. What I'm saying is we should having kids, but that freedom of having children should be monitored by our African government. Yes, it can be monitored. So each and every single parliament can opt for this new law when it comes to our production of African people, that each and every single African household has the right to reproduce themselves 3 times. 3 children, 3 babies. From the 4th one, you have to show the proof of finance. Like, you have to show proof that you can afford financially the 4th child. You have to show a medical examination that mentally you are stable enough to afford a 4th child. You have to show mental examination that emotionally you are strong enough to afford the 4th kid. If no proof has been provided as to show that you're in the capacity of reproducing yourself for the 4th time, producing a 4th baby, then you shouldn't be having it. And if you are stubborn enough as an African person or family is to produce that a fourth being without being able to financially, mentally, emotionally support that new individual, you should be arrested. You should be arrested, and you're going to pay a fine. Release on bail or not, you're going to pay a fine. You have to be released, but you cannot reproduce for the fourth baby. And if you do that, you're going to do jail time again. So let me say it again. I would like our African parliament, government, states, provinces, countries, leaders, you name it, to take this very seriously. We have to reduce reproduction in Africa, especially for individuals who cannot afford to have kids. How do you explain a woman who is in a fully abusive household? Her husband is beating her up, abusing of her physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally, and sexually, will have sex with her without her consent, will have sex with her without protection, will not support trying to going for contraceptive. Technically, he has been raping her, you know. That man can still continue to reproduce, bring baby out of toxic, out of poverty, out of lack environment, more worse, out of abusive environment. This cannot continue to happen. Every single family should are allowed to have 3 kids maximum. You add the fourth one, every single government should have the right to enforce the law, which means you have to be arrested, you're gonna pay a fine, and if you want to proceed with the fourth baby, you have to produce a proof of income, a medical exam that show that you are mentally and emotionally stable, healthy enough to bring a fourth kid, and financially stable to bring and support the fourth kid as well as the 3 existing children. So to all my African leaders, presidents, ministers, governments, please take this message seriously. I want you guys to think about it when you meet in parliament, discuss about it, and also consider implementing this. It has to be the new law. Every single African family should be having 3 kids only, not more than that. If you can afford it financially, mentally, emotionally, you should be having the fourth one. If you can't, then you shouldn't, because this is also putting pressure on other African countries. Have you seen the immigration situation? We have Africans who are trying to get to Europe, to America, Asia, everywhere in an illegal way because of pain and suffering that is in Africa. Because people are just giving birth. Human beings are just, you know, there without purpose, without a vision, without a future, without a substance, without resources, without support, without money. There's no money, there's no success, there's nothing. That's why people are trying to do things the illegal way, to leave the continent, to leave the African countries, to move elsewhere, and then wherever they go they have to compete for the host population, for a job. Wherever they get there, they have to put pressure and strain on opportunities or support in those countries. The image that the continent is getting is African people are lazy. They always like to travel illegally. They don't know how to go on vacation and return. They always migrate to stay because of poverty, because of suffering, because we keep on reproducing without calculation. And another thing more importantly as well is to make sure that every government, African government, is pushing our women, African women, to be on contraceptive. Also, our African men, please, if you cannot afford to have a child, do not have it. Wear a condom. Do not have unprotected sex when you don't have money to support a 4th child. You can't even send the 3 others to private school. You can't make them travel the world. You can't give them a better life. Why are you having unprotected sex? No unprotected sex. No lack of contraceptive. Our African women should be on contraceptive, especially those ones who are not financially stable or free. Emotionally and mentally stable, they should not. You cannot be coming from an abusive household and keep reproducing children 7, 9, 10, 11. That is unacceptable, and we have to take this message serious and implement that in our laws and regulations of each and every single African countries. My name is Nicole Mampuya. I love you so much. All of these informations are coming from my 7th and 9th book on Africa. You can grab my book on Amazon. I'll be happy to give you my autograph when I see you next time in person. I love you so much. I have to leave you so I can see you on my next upload. If you like this message, consider liking, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on my next upload. Thank you, my love. Bye for now.